This is WWE superstar Drew McIntyre, and you're listening to the WWE Podcast.
The champ is
the one that everybody wants, me.
Becky Lynch is going to WrestleMania. Claymore! Austin 316 says I just whipped your ass.
This is my iron. You're going to acknowledge me.
All right, welcome to the WWE Podcast. It's time for the mailbag on this Wednesday, May 24th, 2023. It's the Takeover edition. Mr. and Mrs. Casual Wrestling Fan are going to join us on the second half of the show. We're going to do voicemails up front, and we've got a decent amount of voicemails to get through before we get to the main event of the return of Mr. and Mrs. We will be getting there as soon as we possibly can, I promise you. And tomorrow, we'll be doing a preview and prediction show. Anthony DeMarco will be with me here, and he'll be in the all-important co-host chair for the preview and prediction show of Night of Champions that takes place Saturday night, 1 o'clock Eastern Time. Always bizarre, right? And that'll be a lot of fun because there's some interesting matches, a lot of things that could happen, matches that look like slam dunks that may not be, returns that are still floating out there as they always are every pay-per-view. So we'll be covering that. And also, if you guys are interested, I'm really trying to kick things into video mode. And especially for patrons, but also on Twitter. I know that there's a go live feature on Twitter. A lot of shows are moving to Twitter. And just something I've been thinking about. Maybe not for every show, right? But for some shows, I think it makes sense where you could view the show live being recorded. So that's just something I've been floating out there. And if you'd like to have us on Twitter or some other platform live, let us know, because we're trying to move into especially the YouTube space. I feel like that's an untapped resource for this show. So what I've been doing on YouTube, if you haven't already joined us there, head on over to YouTube. You know what to search for, right? Is just kind of short clips. I don't think it's productive to upload a 45 or 50-minute episode on YouTube because it's a long time to keep someone's attention. So I'm aiming around that 3-minute mark for YouTube videos. Just kind of news bits right now is what I'm covering. And I'm going to be uploading one in probably another 30 minutes or so after this show is over. And doing a discussion on, believe it or not, Austin versus Hogan at WrestleMania 40. Laugh all you want, but it's it's in the news. I'll just leave it at that. It's in the news, and Hulk Hogan's talking about it at WrestleMania 40. Good God Almighty is all I have to say about that. And tune into YouTube if you want to see a little bit about that news story that's rolling around, as well as my second video that'll be publishing probably shortly after about the round of layoffs that are going to be going on in WWE in or around July 1st. So not a good time if you're in WWE and you're concerned about your job. So. All right, guys, let's get to it. Let's start with those voicemails, and we are going to start with let's start high energy here, right? Let's get right to DJ Kuzmo and his Veer Mahan report right now.
Podcast world, this is DJ Kuzmo back at it again on your Mailbag show, record to you live on a Wednesday morning, and let's get to your favorite show to come out every single week on the Mailbag, and I'm talking about the Veer Mahan report. Now, the Veer Mahan report took place this past Monday night on Monday Night Raw. We did not get in-ring action from the Indus Sher, but we did get a video package from the Indus Sher with my guy Veer Mahan, Saga, and the modern day Maharaja. Now, the modern day Maharaja narrated this video package, and he said something like this: last week was the first day of the end for many on Raw. Veer and Sangha are forces of nature. Now, this, my friends, I like this. This is good, but I don't want to see that every freaking week. I don't want to see that they do these matches against a whole bunch of jobbers. I don't want to see that, but I do like these little video packages. It reaffirms that the Indus Sher are a threat to the tag team division on Monday Night Raw. So this is good, but I don't want to see them going after jobbers every single week because that's like going backward. We got to go forward with this tag team of the Indus Sher, of my guy Veer Mahan, Sangha, and the modern day Maharaja Jinder Mahal. Now, speaking of my guy Veer Mahan, on Twitter, this was about 9 hours ago, my guy Veer Mahan says, translated in Hindi to English, it says, all you superstars in the Monday Night Raw locker room, be careful and be safe. With a smirk emoji, hashtag in the share, oh my goodness, hashtag in the share, and a fist pound. So, they're on Twitter. They're on social media. They in the share will make some noise once again. Hopefully next week on Monday Night Raw, when we get to see them in an appearance in a tag team match. Hopefully not against a whole bunch of jobbers, but maybe against the Alpha Academy, maybe against the Maximum Male Models or whatever that tag team is, or whatever up-and-coming tag team in the Raw tag team division. Now, with that being said, this is your boy DJ Kuzmo. Have a blessed week. Be kind to one another. Stay with my friends, and peace.
All right, DJ, thank you every single week for providing the Veer Mahan Report. It's become a staple of the show, and we really enjoy it because it dives into a segment of the superstar universe that I don't think a lot of people pay attention to. The good thing is that if you're even a casual fan, now you have been exposed at the very bare minimum to the Indus because they are now on Raw, which is a good thing, right? They're now on the big time. And the problem is, though, well, I don't know if it's a problem, more of just the normal process where they come from NXT and now they are being exposed to the main audience, right? That means that the majority, I'd say about 60 to 70% of the people watching, don't know who the Indus are. They may recognize Jinder Mahal, maybe Veer Mahan from, years past, but they don't know who Sangha is, right? And they may not know who the entire group is, right? And there's a segment that probably doesn't. That means you have to basically reintroduce them, which means you have to start from the bottom, which means they have to work with talent that have no names, which means they work with the local talent. Not saying that's the formula all the time, but it is a formula that is used often for newer talent. And so that's, I think, what they're doing right now. Eventually, they will be working with real stars, maybe eventually competing for the championships, working all the way up to Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. Not impossible, plausible, likely, I would argue. So hang in there, DJ, and those of you that are fans of the Indus, your time is coming. Your time is coming for at least a championship match. But all right, thank you, DJ, for all of your insight, and let's get to our next voicemail.
Hello, WWE podcast. This is Sean from Israel, and I am been calling you now because I want to complain about Night of Champions. That it's not Night of Champions, that it's Night of some champions, like 5 champions out of 10 of champions. And it's so weird because for so many times we had time of champions over the years, and they had like all the champions in this night, and we saw all the wrestlers are participating in matches on their titles. But now in this Night of Champions in Saudi, not all the champions are on the line. Not just that, 2 of the most important titles are not on the line as well. And I've got to say, I've been expecting to hear Rant Matt with his rants saying, no, they can't do it, no, it's not real, no, what are you doing, stop it, WWE. But damn it, Rant Matt, sorry about the language, you are not that mad about this decision. You're understanding, you said that this is the story of the bloodline, this is important. I say no, stop it. This is Night of Champions, and every championship needs to be on the line. And if it's not there, so it's not Night of Champions. It can be Vengeance, it can be Judgment Day, it can be New Year's Revolution, although we are just in May. But it's not Night of Champions. And this is a problem that I'm starting to understand. The WWE is doing some problems. We want us to make sense by ourselves. What happens with the draft? Everyone can be on the World Heavyweight Championship. You need to make sense by yourself. What happens with the Women Tag Team Championships? Why do we have NXT Championship in SmackDown? Make it sense by yourself. Why does the Raw and the SmackDown champions of women's still stays in the different brands? You need to make sense it by yourself, and so on and so on. So rant man, I want to hear your rants about these subjects. Okay, that's it. Have a good one. Bye.
Sharon, all right. For a couple things. Number one, sounds like you're walking. No? I think your walking was as loud as your voice was. Your microphone, whatever microphone you're using, certainly is a sensitive one, because I mean your walk, your steps, I would imagine that's what the noise was as loud as your voice. Just an observation. That said, you're poking the bear, my friend. If you're asking the rant version of myself to come out, I haven't gone on a massive rant in a while. And I think it's part of me is trying to not go down a path that is easy to go down, that I've been down sometimes too often. And that's being negative on the product and ranting about the negative stuff instead of giving credit where credit is due, because I think a lot of people feed on negativity. And when you hear from people, most of the time it's stuff that they want to complain about. And I get it. I'm guilty of it, right? But if you want me to directly address the issue of the fact that Night of Champions is exactly what you said. They should rebrand it to Night of Champions, and in parentheses, kinda, right? Or as you said, some champions, Night of some champions. But if you want to get real technical about it, Night of Champions, you do have every champion competing. Not every championship is on the line, but I believe every major championship is being, at least champion is in a match, even like Roman Reigns, who's in a tag team title match. He's in a championship match. So I'm trying to make excuses for WWE, but it's Roman Reigns' 1,000th day, right, as champion in a few days on Saturday. His 1,000th day, which they're not making as big of a deal of as I had imagined that they would. Maybe the celebration on SmackDown for next Friday will be bigger. But you know, it is kind of annoying though that they are very selective on, even though the whole pay-per-view name is Night of Champions, should be focused around the champions and their championships and defending them, which it has been in the past. That is frustrating, but I think that the WWE is looking at this and saying, well, we're now introducing the World Heavyweight Championship, and they're looking at the World Heavyweight Championship as kind of a deodorizer, a distraction, albeit a respectable one. This is not a throwaway, made up out of nowhere championship. There's a ton of lineage behind this championship that WWE has yet to remind us about. It is almost as if they're not maximizing the value of this belt by reminding us who has held it in the past. And it's like why would you want people to perceive that it's a brand new championship? It's not. The belt may look different, but what it represents is not. So I think that they're leaning on that heavily, where it's like, sure, people still notice that Roman isn't defending his belt at every pay-per-view, and it's even more egregious when he's defending it at a champion on a pay-per-view in which the very purpose of that pay-per-view in the past has been to have every championship defended. So it's even more egregious this time around. But I think that WWE is leaning on the fact that they're guaranteeing us a babyface champion, most likely Seth Rollins, and that champion will be a fighting champion, that they'll be there every week and all that. So some of the heat they're hoping gets brushed off the company because they gave us another world champion. They gave us another top belt. Is it equal in value to what Roman is carrying? I don't think it is, because Roman carrying it for 3 years. It's technically 2 championships in one. The lineage of the WWE Championship is immense. Universal obviously is not nearly as long, but there's some value in that as well. Many legends have held that belt. And so it doesn't mean as much yet. And it won't, even if Seth or AJ win it, it won't matter as much as Roman's does. But that's, I think, their hope. I really do. I believe that. Time will tell if fans still get up in arms about the fact that Roman is not defending it, at every pay-per-view. But that's kind of been the status quo. No, the thing is too, Sharon, is that this has been the game for the last year and a half of his run. So I don't feel the need to rant as much. Not just because the World Heavyweight Championship is there and it's a shiny new toy that people are just, oh, look over here now. Suddenly we don't even notice Roman's not here, or we don't care as much. I'm not falling for that. I'm still of the belief that it's egregious of how little Roman defends the belt. I agree with that. But after a while, you just kind of become numb to it. And what are you going to do, right? Complain about it for a year and a half, 2 years. I know he's had the belt for nearly 3, but particularly over the last 12 to 18 months, it's been really egregious where he's, barely there. And especially when they united the championships at last year's WrestleMania. So that's when really things took off and frustration for the fans. So yeah, Sharon, hey, keep poking the bear. Eventually, you push the right buttons and, maybe my rants will return to the dismay of many and the pleasure of few. So thanks, Sharon. And let's get to our next one.
Hey, it's Kyle from Baltimore. So I wanted to talk about the promo on Monday with Seth Rollins and this build they're doing with Seth, talking about the World Heavyweight Championship, his experience from being previously champion from last week. His sit-down with Corey Graves as a whole is really good, and doing a 3-part type thing. So we could do it, next week too on Raw. And so I'm looking forward to, this is really intriguing to me and really fascinating. It makes me even more efficient thinking that he's going to win the championship on a Night of Champions. They didn't do the same with AJ Styles, which I assumed they were going to, but since they did the thing last night with AJ Styles and Grayson Waller, they're going to feud with each other. I'm assuming after Night of Champions. So, but what do you think about the entire promo with Graves and Rollins, and do you think that was a good way to build up this match for Rollins' sake to be champion? Because I thought it was great as a whole, but that's it. This one call. Bye.
Thanks, Kyle. Absolutely. I made a pretty significant point about this on my Raw review last night, and that is that sit-down interviews, if they're not done all the time, can be very effective for maybe a star that is flailing a bit or that needs a bit of a retooling or realignment. And this was, to me, not an overhaul for Seth. Seth does not need an overhaul. I think he's come into his own. His character has been more coherent over the last year and a half. He has finally found a lane. It's been a mixture of all of his characters put together, from the Messiah to the swarmy little heel that he was in the Authority, to kind of that weird babyface that never worked out when he beat Brock at WrestleMania and people turned on him, to it's like all iterations in one. It's weird, but it works. So whatever this is, this version of Seth helps. Of course, his entrance music certainly helps. And so I think he's needed a bit of a redirection and kind of a rejigger, if that makes sense, retooling. I don't know. Lots of analogies. He needed a little tweaking. And I think we got that. We got a sit-down, non-promo, in an arena, placating for the fans, just yelling and screaming and over the top. It's just kind of a calm, collected conversation with Corey Graves. That could be much more effective, depending on the message that you're trying to convey, than it is in an arena doing his, saying his taglines and having the crowd sing along to his music, which does nothing for the people at home, right? That's just really placating to the minority when 99.9% of your fans are sitting at home going, cool, we've seen this 400,000 times. Cool, but what's your message? Why are you here? Why should I care if you win this match that you're about to compete in or whatever? So I think this was a massive success and very effective for Seth moving forward. And of course, his comments on Roman Reigns, I know you didn't talk about that, but his comments on Roman Reigns left something to be desired in terms of like, okay, cool. Are we going to get to a effing program with these guys finally? A real program, a sustained, like many months or multi-month program. And so there at least is the seeds for that were planted here, but I don't think it's going to immediately grow. I think it's going to take maybe until Rumble or Mania, if that's the plan, if, The Rock doesn't come out of hibernation or whatever. So to answer your question in short, Kyle, I thought it was very effective. Very effective. I loved it. Absolutely loved it. And AJ Styles could benefit from it too. Maybe they go that road on SmackDown, right? Maybe they do. Maybe they go that road on SmackDown with some sit-down interview with AJ. I would. Why not? I think that's a very effective road to go, especially even more with AJ. AJ's in need right now of some just kind of a boost. He's in more of a position of needing assistance than Seth is. And I think it could be as effective for AJ, and they should do the same exact segment with Corey with AJ Styles, because then it's not just it's clearly going to be Seth Rollins. Maybe in the sit-down interview, AJ could make the case that he's actually going to be the one to win. And here's why. I don't have a whole lot of time left in me. I've never felt better. This is my do or die time, right? And there's ways to frame it that make you think, maybe Seth isn't going to win. Just a thought, right? But ultimately, yeah, loved it. Love those things. Especially Corey Graves, as I said last night on my Raw review, is just seemingly made to do these sit-down interviews. He excels at them. Very, very well done by Corey and, of course, Seth. All right, next voicemail, please.
Hey, Matt and the new podcast, NY Kyle, I'm at work again. First off, want to thank everyone for the support about my mom in the Discord chat and on the Mailbag. She's doing good. She's home now. She's just recovering. It's going to be a couple of weeks so she's like fully recovered. She can't really do much because neck surgery. It's like hard for her to do anything. So it's just a little depressing. But I got this podcast and wrestling to keep me happy. So that's good. Forgot what I was going to say. What did I call for? Oh yeah, now I remember. So shout out to Rocky T. You'll know why once you guys hear my email. Second thing, I know DJ Kuzma does the Veer Mahan report. I'm thinking about starting a Corey Jade report because I'm really high on her at NXT right now. Also, she's my age. She's 22. I have a crush on her. But but seriously though, she has potential for the future. She has potential. I'm gonna start doing a report for her. Starting next week, because next week is the Saturday's NXT, this Sunday's NXT Battlegrounds. I'm gonna wait till next week, so it's like a fresh start. And then I'll start it. Also, one more thing. Holy crap. Matt listened to JD from NY as well. It was really cool to hear that in your Raw review, because it was cool because you two are literally the two main wrestling podcasts I listen to. I'm listening to I've listened to you longer though. Like Matt, I listened to you since for the last 3 years. I just started listening to JD last July, I think. So almost a full year. But yeah. You're the two main podcasts I listen to. I listen to every episode of your show and every episode of his. When I'm not listening to you, I'm listening to him. I'm not listening to him, listening to you. You're the main two. So just hearing and knowing that you're a fan of him too is just really cool. But yeah. He's great. I hate his Twitter though. I hate the people on Twitter giving him so much hate because he's so negative. He's just being truthful. It annoys me. Anyway, that was cool. But I'm not going to talk Night Champions. I did all that in the email, so to the takeover. So see you guys next week and enjoy Night Champions.
Kyle, good to hear your mom's doing better. Neck surgery is no joke. I don't know the details, but I don't know if I need to know that any kind of neck surgery is serious. I mean, there's no such thing as a minor neck surgery. And good. I mean, it sounds like the end result is that it went as well as it possibly could have gone, and that's great. And I'm glad you have this show and wrestling in general and JD from NY to lean on. Honestly, I have listened to JD. I actually only know about JD because of TikTok, right? I mean, as Americans, we spent literally billions of hours, what, probably per month, per week, I don't know, whatever, on TikTok. And my algorithm is tied very heavily to wrestling and wrestling content. And JD from NY is on TikTok, and he puts on some, short clips and does a great job producing it and posting it up there. And that's how I started hearing about it. And I'm like, this dude's good. I mean, he is negative. No doubt about it. JD from NY, again, he's not telling me, I've never spoken to the guy. Never. I've never had any kind of correspondence with him at all, but I'm giving him free promotion here. I'd really encourage you guys to check out JD from NY. However, if you are going to be just complaining that he's complaining too much, then you may want to find another little rosy podcast that doesn't make your tummy hurt, okay? Because he is a bit brash and harsh to the product in a hilarious but truthful way. He's got a great voice, a great commanding voice, a very unique sounding voice where he commands your attention. I don't know how else to describe him. That's my take, and obviously, since he's a large podcast, I think there's a lot of people that would agree with me. And he does a great job, and yes, he is negative. He, not all the time, but I'd say like 75% of the time, especially the content that he puts on TikTok, it is negative. But he flips out. Like, there's certain things he starts screaming, but he's not putting on a theatrical performance, right? He's not pretending he's part of community theater. He is just being real, and you can tell he's being real, and that's what I love about him, because that's what this show, I think, is part of our DNA. Like, we don't put on a performance. We don't just try to create clicks. We just tell it like it is. And he does it even more vulgarly, but hilarious and true. And anyway, I'm putting him over like $1 million. Never met the dude, or talked to him at all, or even text him, or even nothing. So yeah. Anyway, there's my promotion unsolicited for JD from NY, and you'd be surprised. I mean, like, as a wrestling community, we just kind of know each other. Some more than others. Some, some help you, some don't. But ultimately, I think we're all on the same page of just trying to get more listeners and create a platform that has a large voice, and that's what both of us are doing. And anyway, so Kyle. I'm glad that things are going well, and I appreciate it. And I will talk to you next week, probably. Let's get to our final voicemail for the evening.
What's good, WWE Podcast? Checking in once again. Your Texas champion, your South champion of North America, Rocky T. Here with your Roxanne Perez update. The 21-year-old Roxanne Perez, the prodigy, took on the Nebula, the out-of-this-world Tiffany Stratton, in the semifinals of the NXT Women's Championship Tournament. This was a solid match from start to finish. Unfortunately, I have to report that our Texas champion, Roxanne, took the loss. A clean loss, I may add. Tiffany Stratton is somebody to look out for. And other notes, Roxanne was attacked after the match by somebody in a black hoodie, zipped all the way up, face covered, so stay tuned for the update coming soon. And other news, Matt, so happy that you're finally going to another show. I will definitely be on the lookout for you. I will snap a screenshot when I see you on camera and send it to you. And all the best luck, all the luck with your sign. As we know, I did not get my sign in when I went to Rumble, but my sign was 4 feet tall. So I would suggest to make your sign about the size of your torso, and you should be good to get in with that. With all that being said, I'll come up with another update next week with Roxanne Perez. Until then, everybody, don't have a good day. Have a great day.
Rocky T, how you doing, brother? First of all, thank you for the Roxanne Perez report. I do appreciate that. Another kind of adjacent report to the Veer Mahan, talking about stars from both men's and women's divisions that we may not be paying attention to, that at least the majority of fans probably aren't. The majority, especially of casual fans, ones that don't listen to this show especially, probably aren't paying attention to, outside of the mainstream. What's going on in the main event? Are there any big stars? It's all about the big stars. instead of watching, up and coming men and women go through the process of becoming a star, which sometimes is even more interesting. The development of a star, which never has a linear path, right? Never. And Roxanne Perez, I like that one. You know way more about her than I do. You know more about her body of work than I do. So I'm trusting you, Rocky T, to keep us updated. All right. Just like Veer Mahan, I really would appreciate that. And as far as my sign goes, hey, I'm going to give it a roll of the dice. Yours was 4 feet, you said. I think I purchased, what did I get? Like one that was just maybe like 2 feet, 2.5 feet, by maybe 3 at the very most. Just kind of a normal sign, right? I bought it. I'm going to call, what I'm doing is being smart, kind of, is calling the MVP arena right here in Albany. And I'm saying, hey, talking to security, what are you guys allowing in the building for wrestling? Can I bring this size sign? And telling them what it says. So that way I don't get there and then, have it taken where I have a prime seat with millions of people watching and I'm sitting there, with my thumb up So, yeah, I'm going to, like I said, I'm bringing 2 signs. I'm bringing the WWE Podcast logo, and I'm also bringing just a plain old sign with just letters that say the WWE Podcast. That's it. And if you get a screenshot, I'd appreciate it. If I'm able to get it in, I should. I'm hoping I will. And just, hey, put it in there and or send me a screenshot. It'd be pretty cool. Again, I am lower level, right, the very first level of the lower level, not on the floor. I repeat, I am not on the floor. I'm the very first level up. So that gives me a massive advantage. Being that first level, there's no one in front of me, right? Nobody, because I'm up one level and no one's there. And I'm right there. So fingers crossed. Right. But outside of selfless self-promotion and just trying to get people to listen to this show, which is certainly part of the motivation, given I got great seats at a great price, it is going to be cool to go to a Monday Night Raw. I have not been to an actual Monday Night Raw since, like I said, the Barclays Center Raw 25 back in 2017, I think. Was it 2017? 2018? 2018, I think it was. And obviously a massive star-studded show there that I'll never forget. Maybe the last time I ever see Stone Cold Steve Austin, so I'll never forget that, in person anyway. So very cool, and I'm looking forward to this Monday Night Raw. Obviously not nearly as star-studded, but it'll be the first Monday Night Raw that looks towards Money in the Bank. A lot of Money in the Bank qualifiers. We'll have our women's tag team title match. It'll be a lot of fun. And you'll start to see what the rivalries are going to be heading towards Money in the Bank. Typically the shows right off of a pay-per-view are hot, and the show right before a pay-per-view is hot. The ones in between are the ones that are kind of kerfuffled, if that makes sense. I don't even know what that word means, but I felt like saying it. But it's kind of the ones that are just like, we're just kind of going through the motions. It's not right off the pay-per-view to follow things up, but it's also not the one right before the next one. So I'm glad that it's hot off of a Monday Night Raw or an event in Saudi Arabia. I have to say, I don't envy those of you in WWE who have to go to Saudi Arabia on a Saturday, fly out, I'd imagine Saturday night after the show, and then get 1 day to recover and then go to, Albany, New York. I do not envy you, because that is a hell of a flight there and back. God bless you. So, anyway, thank you, Rocky T. Mr. and Mrs. Casual Wrestling Fan will be handling your email version of this show. So look out for that. I forwarded all the emails to Mr. and Mrs. That'll be coming on later on. Actually, in just a minute here, as I'm about to close out my segment. And remind you, tomorrow I'll be back with Anthony DeMarco to cover the entire preview and prediction show for Night of Champions. And that if you want to support the show, you can do that at patreon.com/WWE podcast. We are now offering free 7-day trials for our 2 tiers, our NXT tier and our SmackDown tier, both for free. 7 days. Try them out. Let me know what you think. If you don't like it, cancel and move on, right? But first time ever, we're offering trials, free trials for Patreon, and hope you take advantage of that. If you don't want to take Patreon, you can always do Apple Podcasts and check out the 7-day free trial there as well. And WWEpodcast.com also offers ad-free, or last plug, I promise, WWEpodcastshop.com for all of your WWE Podcast merch. All right, everybody. That is going to do it for me as we are closing out the voicemail portion of the show. I'm going to now hand the baton to the lovely and highly requested Mr. and Mrs. Casual Wrestling Fan finally returning to the show. So get ahead to them, guys. Take care. I'll talk to you all next time.
Guess who's back, WWE Podcast? Your favorite two podcast personalities, Mr. Casual Wrestling Fan.
And Mrs. Casual Wrestling Fan, hello.
And that's right, we're back. It's been a while, guys.
Been a long time.
Been a couple months. That's right, countdown. And, to pull back the curtain real quickly, we had a Roman Reigns type of contract, so we was planning on taking a nice little 4-week vacation and planning on being back for the last pay-per-view. But as everybody at home knows, life gets hectic. So, we had to take a little extra time,
We did.
Had to work that in the contract with Matt, but luckily he was gracious enough to let us come back, and we're back. So we're going to get straight to your emails. But before I do want to give a special shout out to my boy, DJ Kuzmo.
Hey.
Guess what? I got your text. I'm sorry I didn't respond. That's outside the contract stuff. But I got you, and I appreciate the love. And to everybody who, reached out to us, we appreciate the love. Shout out to Twitty and whatever. But we're going to hop straight in right now to the first person on the Mailbag Takeover Show. The Welcome Back Mailbag Takeover Show with Mr. and Mrs. Casual Wrestling Fan goes to number 1, Rocky T.
Rocky T.
So shout out to Rocky T. And we're going to get to your letter, sir, in 3, 2, 1.
In honor of the new time courtesy guidelines, ... 2 thoughts and a plug. First, I know we hadn't had a champion in the modern era take time off between title defenses like Roman has. But if you remember, Triple H did explain the reason the night he announced the draft, stating that Roman negotiated into his contract not to be obligated to defend the title within 30 days. So apparently the 30-day rule doesn't apply here?
So apparently the 30-day rule doesn't apply here. I guess not. Roman Reigns has a contract, and, I don't want to speak on the World Heavyweight Championship. I know everybody has talked about that to death, but you're going to hear our remarks on that on Good Morning WWE. Oh, yeah, that's right. That's back, too.
Ooh,
hey, they didn't know that.
Y'all heard that, you guys.
Hey, but now you know. Shout out to Rocky T. So, but yeah, it's Roman Reigns. We the ones.
That's right.
But once again, that's Triple H booking too, sir. So, all right, let's go to 2.
Second, just for the record, I do not listen to the podcast before I go to sleep. I do not listen to the podcast when I'm at work. I actually work on my email for the mailbag when I'm at work. I listen when I'm driving on the way to work or on the way home. And I always listen till the end.
Shout out to Rocky T. He's a dedicated listener. It's a running joke that people listen to Matt and go to sleep to him.
Oh, my goodness. So, yeah. No, Matt, you're awesome. All right. And then he says, sorry, everyone, for the delay on episode number 3 of Wrestle Magic, the revolution of... You want to help me out with that, Mr. Casual?
Well, man, okay. Look,
Lucha Underground?
Yeah, Lucha... it's supposed to be, Lucha Underground. Okay, I see, because it's all combined. So, all right, sorry everyone for the delay on episode number 3 of Wrestle Magic, the revolution of Lucha Underground. Mother Nature and work schedule have set us back a bit. Hey, you want to finish this one? I don't know read one. I read
Go
a half.
ahead.
All right, we in the final production stage, and we are starting... Oh, Lord. Compound research for episode number 4 and 5 slated to be released in June.
Ooh.
Don't forget you can go ad-free on Patreon if you haven't already.
Ooh.
And I will pay for your first month if you write in or call in and mention my name on the mailbag and give me a follow on Twitter at Rocky's Club 007. Shout out to Rocky T. Hit him up on Twitter again at Rocky's Club. ROCKYS. CLUB 007. Yeah, I like that. And I super plugged you, Rocky. So shout me out on your show. All right, shout out to Rocky T. I like your little. No predictions on the mailbag, but that's okay. We like that.
Of course.
Shout out to him. Going next.
Who's next? Who's up?
All right, we got a new person here.
Okay.
King Scully.
Okay.
You know, it's like Grim Reaper. Remember that?
Oh,
King
yeah.
Scully. So guess what, King Scully? You got Mr. and Mrs. Casual Wrestling Fan right here on the Mailbag Takeover Show. You didn't get mad. You didn't get none of that boring stuff. You got us, the it couple of the WWE podcast. And we're going to get to your letter, sir. And by the way, since everybody plugging, go check out Good Morning WWE. It's going to drop this Monday. Check it out. But anyway, we're going to get to your letter, sir, in 3, 2, 1.
Hey, yo. King Scully in the house. Representing the UK all day.
Let's go.
Thank you for reading both my emails last week, and I promise to only send one at a time in the future and respect the rules. I am also considering joining the Patreon crew. This is more about you than what's currently happening in the WWE. You may have been asked this before, but it wouldn't hurt to refresh our memories. We're both mid-30s, and I'm interested to know, who are your top 5 WWE superstars of all time? Mine are 1. The Rock, 2. Shawn Michaels, 3. Razor Ramon Scott Hall, 4. Owen Hart, and 5. Kurt Angle.
Okay, now hold on. All right.
Let's start there.
Okay, let me see this real quick.
Okay.
And first, you ain't get mad. Let's start there. You got Mr. and Mrs. Casual Wrestling Fan. Number 2, I'm not in my mid-30s. Yeah, Miss Casual Wrestling Fan is not in her mid-30s.
No, I'm not.
So just to put it out there so we all in, age bracket.
Good guess, though. I mean, hey.
Anyway, but top 5 WWE superstars of all time. Now, I'm not gonna nitpick your list. So, but we're going to start on, we're going to try to combine them guys. So yeah, this first pick's going to be hard because I can tell you hers and she can tell you mine. So, Miss Casual Wrestling Fan is The Undertaker, number 1. What's mine?
Ric Flair.
All day long, Ric Flair.
Of course.
Woo! So, we probably differ there, but maybe our 2. What's next for you? That's the hard one. I mean, because, no offense to anybody listening.
I mean, honestly, it's hard. We're talking about all time, though. They're not talking about just recently.
Yes, all time.
All time.
See, it's hard because
you have to consider the past as well.
See, that's the hard part.
And those real legendary moments. That's what built the foundation for now. So.
Yeah, I mean, that's tough. That's tough. Mount Rushmore. I mean, Undertaker is definitely on mine. So let's not rank them. Let's just say them.
Okay.
So, but Ric Flair's my 1, and Undertaker's your 1. So yeah, Undertaker's on mine.
Okay. Booker T's on mine. I mean, I'm sorry.
That's a real good one.
Booker T fan.
That's a real good one.
And I'm not one for many hills at all. But Booker T was a legend.
That's a real good one.
Yes.
That is a real good one.
Gotta give him props, man.
And honestly,
he's so much.
He's the best African American professional wrestler.
I will say
history.
And I'm sorry, I'm not offending any wrestler.
And I'm not. Yes,
y'all equally
hold on.
are giving your dues.
Now, Ron Simmons, we are not crapping on him. Ron Simmons paved the way, first world champion, African American, and I'm not attesting to him. So let me just put that out there. I'm black, so I'm keeping it real. So, but nevertheless, Booker T, I agree. Booker T's on there. He a big boy. And people don't give Booker T props. And everybody's listening right now like, man, no, not Booker T. Hey, Booker T, King Booker, to change your gimmick. Same thing for Undertaker, to change your gimmick. I mean, that's cold-blooded. That is cold-blooded. Anyway, The Rock, I mean, I ain't hating on The Rock.
I mean, The Rock is awesome.
Because people say Stone Cold.
I
don't know about Stone Cold.
He's my top 5. Because no offense. And then I do consider Roman. He is like my favorite.
Oh, it's hard. Because see, then we talking about today. Because then...
But then I think of Becky.
Then I think of Charlotte.
She's my favorite when it comes to the women's division.
Charlotte.
And then...
GOAT. Okay, Roman GOAT.
I'm not naming
okay, hold on, pause.
Undertaker's GOAT. Let's
you
just
know
put
what?
That out there.
Time out.
Anyway, we deflected.
We're going WWE. Good morning, WWE for you right here.
Sorry, Matt.
This is what happens when you listen to our show. We debate.
We're catching up.
So now, just because, as you see us, hard to go through this, it's tough to pick.
On
now,
Scott, yes.
I ain't hating on Scott Hall, but he's not on mine. I love Owen Hart. He ain't on mine. Kurt Angle, bad boy. He ain't on mine. And Shawn Michaels,
No, definitely not on mine. I
I
can't
don't
speak for
know.
you,
Now, I ain't
but
gonna lie. I like Shawn
I
Michaels.
kind
I
of
like Kurt
loathe.
Angle. I like the
I
bad guy. You know what I mean? I like Owen Hart. I'm not crapping on him either. The
yeah, Hart was
Rock.
cool.
That's everybody. All right. Anyway. All right. You want me to finish this one?
Sure, go for
I'll give
it.
you one.
Hey, this
The
is
other
awesome.
thing I'm wondering: do you think Dolph Ziggler will ever get a top title run in WWE again?
Ooh.
Probably not. He's a jobber.
I
Oh,
think
my bad. I'm
probably.
sorry. Hold on, folks. Keep
Oh, is there
reading.
more?
I mean, he is very talented, and unfortunately for him, injuries have stopped his momentum when capturing the big. Oh, excuse me. When capturing the big one before.
Just like John Morrison.
He had big moments in the WWE. Money in the Bank winner, cashing in on Del Rio to a massive ovation, but then losing it to Del Rio not long after because of an injury. It was disappointing how good he was on Team Cena, but again, his momentum faded away. His matches are always class. He's good on the mic, but now it appears he's just a jobber. He has done for ages. I feel like he hasn't been able to reach his full potential. Do you think he'll ever get a chance again? Last thing, last thing, what did you guys think of Becky Lynch's RoboCop type glasses?
I mean, I think her style is awesome, and I really think it does like correlate with David Bowie, so that's kind of cool too.
Thank
She's
you,
just
King
stylish.
Scully.
I like it.
Yeah, I mean, it's straight.
And to go back, guys, I got two more to throw at you.
Uh-oh.
Chris Jericho.
Okay, Chris Jericho, bad
He's
boy.
my top five.
He could
And
be.
then-
Yeah.
I had somebody else in mind. I really did.
See, we can't stop King Scully. You got us talking. It happens. We might have to make that about a topic we do on the
that'd
show.
be awesome.
You know what, King Scully? You might have gave us an idea for a round table. We might have get some guys together and come up with their top fives, and they got to explain why. And we gonna X out people's top fives.
Oh yeah, my last.
Ooh,
That's who I
you
meant.
got?
Of course. How could I forget this legendary man, Eddie Guerrero?
Oh, yeah. Viva la Raza.
Okay.
Yeah, Eddie Guerrero, bad boy. And he don't get the props he deserves. People need to start thinking about him for
I
the
just
Mount
don't
Rushmore.
understand why not. But that's
But
okay.
back on Ziggy.
Continuing.
We got to finish Ziggy.
Now look, I do believe he has another chance. I do. It's a huge possibility because they keep bringing him up. But yes, his injuries unfortunately have impacted that opportunity several times, and I feel like it's the John Morrison effect. Remember John Morrison? He can do great things.
He a bad
great
boy
moves.
too in the ring, yeah,
I
but
mean,
he a jobber.
really is.
The Miz ain't the good in the ring, but
He
J
is a
Mo had
variety
moves.
of a person with multiple, things
He a bad
he
boy.
can do. He's great, but he did get hurt a lot, so injuries also
It
succumbed
happens.
for him.
A lot of people get injured. A lot of people injury prone. Finn Balor,
I mean,
the
it's
first
unfortunate.
Universal.
It's not easy being
Finn
out there
Balor.
doing this.
Finn Balor was the first Universal Champion and got hurt and had to give it up the next night and go back to NXT and had to restart and then come back and then back in NXT and then restart. And I mean, it happens to some superstars. And now Finn Balor's okay. But how long is this going to ride before he gets injured again? I mean, some superstars are just like that, just injury prone. Alexa Bliss, always hurt. You know what I mean? There's a lot of superstars that just hurt.
It happens.
You know what I mean? Bray Wyatt. Anyway, on to the next person. Who we got here? Next one comes to
Thanks
us.
for writing in.
Thanks for writing in, King Scully. Shout out to you. Next comes to us from Amber T. So we go from Rocky T to Amber T.
All right.
So we're going to get to your letter, ma'am, in 3, 2, 1.
I haven't had a chance to write for a while, but wanted to touch on a couple things. The first is, I think that while creatively it makes sense for Bianca Belair to turn heel, I don't think it makes sense from a business standpoint. Bianca Belair is super popular among little girls, and I imagine that young girls, especially young black girls, are the least popular demographic of WWE fans. I think WWE will want to milk the Bianca babyface character for all it's worth for as long as possible in order to try to attract young girls to the show. I may be biased, though, because I have a 2-year-old daughter and 10-year-old sister who are both huge Bianca fans and will literally twirl their ponytails along with her when she makes her entrances.
All right. Now, Is it more?
Yes, there's more, but we can pause right there.
Okay. Now, definitely, Bianca Belair.
Idol, yep.
I mean, great.
Little girl idol, yep.
Yeah, she's a great role model.
Our daughter does the same.
Yes, it's somebody to look up for. We seen her SummerSlam weekend at the meet and greet.
Oh, it was so funny. It looks so cute.
So, yes, and I agree with you. Now, let's be honest about three things. Let's look at Bianca Belair. Does she need something different? I mean, not really. I mean, I'm not really stale on her. I know a lot of fans are starting to get stale on her run, but, I'm not stale on
I
it.
just think y'all aren't giving her enough competition. So.
And that's another thing, too. I agree. They put her
I don't think that's her fault.
And I don't think she has an edge. See, Drew McIntyre is a baby face, but he has an edge.
He can get mean. Edge. He does get mean.
Yes, and that's fine. Like Bianca,
Sheamus
gets mean, but Bianca doesn't have that edge. She always tries to be nice and happy, and which is fine. I mean, that is a good role model. I mean, so, but yes, from a fan standpoint, yes, we wanted to turn heel because a lot of people are still on it. But from a business standpoint or even a dad standpoint, yeah, I like it. And I think she should stay face for another year.
I agree.
And hold the belt another year.
That'd be pretty awesome.
But let's keep going.
The second thing is, does anyone else think it's ridiculous that WWE is promoting 3 main events for Night of Champions?
Dumb.
They did the double main event thing for Backlash, and I didn't like that either. There can only be one match that goes last, and thus only one main event. When you decide that there are 2 or 3 main events, it really devalues the other matches that aren't one of the main events. The last thing is, a quick thought on MJF potentially coming to WWE. I do not want this to happen. We recently started watching AEW, and I think that MJF has made himself a nice home there. I think he would be stifled creatively in WWE. Not only because of the PG rating, but because WWE in general seems to not allow their wrestlers as much creative freedom. I think the bidding war is just a work. I am a big MJF fan, though, so I will enjoy watching him no matter where he ends up. Thanks for reading. Love the podcast. Amber T. Amber Tustin.
But yeah. All right, so all right, let's hit this. Now, I agreed and disagreed. Okay.
How so?
Now, the middle part about the double main event, I didn't mind that. It's Puerto Rico. It's Bad Bunny.
I thought it was weird, though. I didn't understand why they did that.
It wasn't weird, but it's Bad Bunny. I think they should have ended the match. I think they should have ended the night.
Well, if that's the case, that should have been the main event, though. Don't make it confusing.
Or maybe they should have said co-main.
No, because you don't do that for WrestleMania. There's not several people main event on each night.
Well, you can change stuff. It ain't gotta be the same.
It's not the same.
Okay, now, but
so
I do
agree.
agree.
With Amber T.
Well, I agree that 3 main events is a lie.
That's way too
much. That's Triple H. Now, thank you, all the Triple H fans out here. I hope you like this. Hope you happy. Anyway, now I do agree with you on MJF. I do think. Well, the Bidding War 2024 is a work. It's up to what's his name? Khan. Khan decides if it's a work or not.
Exactly.
So if Khan says it's a work, it's a work. If Khan don't pay him, it's a shoot.
That's true. Things can change within a moment.
But I don't think Khan would let him walk away. I don't think that he would lose MJF.
MJF's
if he got any sense, he ain't.
No.
Anyway, all right, on to the next one. Shout out to Amber T.
Thank you.
And we're going to move on to...
Who's this?
No name.
Okay, that's okay. We have a mystery anonymous writer.
Guess what? But
we like ghost writers.
But guess what? We still going to read it.
Of course.
Whoever wrote this letter, you know who you are. You write in next week, tell them give you credit. You was that letter that we didn't know who it was. And Matt going to give you an extra shout out from us.
Of course.
But we still going to read your letter, ma'am or sir, in 3, 2, 1.
Do you think we will ever see Braun Strowman and Ricochet as the tag team champions? I would love to see them get a shot at the titles. I think both superstars are underrated and would love to see them become bigger players in the tag team division and someday become real contenders for the World Heavyweight Championship.
All
right, unknown.
Yes,
well,
Shout out to you, the
How
Baldy
do
Club.
you feel about that,
The Baldy
Mr. Casual
Club.
Wrestling fan?
I feel like number one. I don't know. I'm not big on that.
Me neither.
Because right
Not
now,
really.
Kevin Owens and them's champ right now,
Yeah.
so we know damn well. Well, I can say damn. We know damn well they ain't gonna pull the belts off them.
I mean,
to
I
another
will
face
agree. It'd be
team.
nice to see Braun Strowman in the light again. I mean, it seems like he's been a little MIA.
Now I give you that, but they keeping him relevant. They are keeping him
Sorta.
relevant, but they keep
But
him in
not
the
as
background. Mm-hmm.
Not as much as he did when he first came back.
I don't
They
know
gave
why
him
they
all the
don't put him.
attention.
I don't know why they don't put him against Roman.
I don't know. I don't know if it had anything to do with the draft or what.
They didn't put him on Roman, but they made him look weak against Gunther.
True.
They made it look super. Anyway, moving on to our next letter. It comes to us from Darren.
Hey,
So
Darren.
shout out to Darren. We're gonna read your letter in 3, 2, 1.
Hey there. It's Darren here. I'll be quick since I know you want these shorter now. Thank you, Darren. Thank you so much.
Hey, Matt says thank you. We ain't say that. You write it, we read it. But yeah, Matt said.
Hey, Matt, me and you, I like your thinking. Does the news about Seth Rollins will be busy filming the new Captain America movie worry you that he might not win the World Heavyweight Championship?
Hell no.
And if AJ wins, does that mean the entire OC goes to Raw with him?
Number one.
Thanks, Darren.
Shout out to Darren. Number one, Darren. Is Triple H dumb enough to put it on AJ Styles?
Oh my goodness, I hope not.
He dumb enough to get the backlash. I think, honestly, guys, if Triple H has the mindset to say, I'm going to put this belt on AJ over Seth Rollins, I don't want to hear nobody that says, well, Vince made him lose to Cody 3 times. Well, nah, Triple H just made him lose for the belt. I think it's made for Seth. I think he's hands down the winner in this one. That's my pick. How you feel, Miss Casual Wrestling fan?
I mean, I'm right there with you, to be completely honest.
All right. Well, shout out to Darren. And guess
you.
what? We're moving on to the current European champion of the WWE podcast, Alex, the French guy.
Hey, Alex.
So we're going to read your letter, sir, in 3, 2, 1.
Alex, the French guy here, your current European champion. I want to say, Night of Champion looks really promising. The card is really good for once. Most of the storylines are great. The World Heavyweight Champion will be a banger as a competitive match. I want to highlight something that you probably missed, which is a video posted by Mustafa Ali.
Mustafa.
In this video, he is somewhat emotional, saying that he is tired of failing. For him at Night of Champion, he either wins or quits his dream. I like the video package, and I don't know what this means. If he quits WWE, if he loses, or if it's just a work. Let's be real, guys. Mustafa Ali is not the best. He is in this pay-per-view for marketing reasons. That's all. He will probably lose. However, I see something interesting to me be made with his character. He typically fits the underdog character.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have a typical underdog at this moment in WWE.
That's same as that.
What is your opinion on this? See you around, Alex.
All right, Alex, the French guy. I'm going to play with you on this one.
Let's do this.
We're going to play with him.
Yes.
Okay? Let's just go with what you're saying. Okay,
yes.
guy? Mustafa. And we talking possibilities, okay? Just possibilities. Could it happen, okay? Could you see Mustafa fluking out, beating Gunther? Yeah. Yeah. A fluke win, he beats Gunther. Could you see that happening overseas, Middle East, Night of Champions?
Of course.
Gunther falls, underdog story wins, the crowd goes crazy.
I see it.
You know, couldn't you see that?
Of course.
Yes. But what % chance do you give that to happen? I mean, you gotta let 2 or 3%. I mean, now I agree. The match on paper, Gunther versus Mustafa, it looks trash.
It does.
So that's why you gotta watch the ploy. So yes, I can see that happening. But I do think in the event that Gunther did drop the belt to Mustafa overseas, I'm willing to bet $1,000,000 that Mustafa would drop the belt right back to Gunther on Monday. So he might hold it for a day or two. But no, I don't think it probably is a gimmick change for him. I mean, just
Most
to be
likely.
honest, if we being honest, yes, he's probably gonna change his gimmick. Speaking of change gimmicks, I'm mad that Apollo ain't African Apollo no more. I don't care how y'all feel about that. I like African
culture
Apollo.
shock.
Anyway, so now let's go to Hey y'all, I'm sorry. We got another one. A no name. So no name contributor number 2.
Okay, that's fine.
That's what we're gonna call you.
We're gonna roll with
so
it, guys.
Guess what?
Thank you for writing anyway, though.
When you write in next week, you tell Matt you was no name contributor number 2, and he gonna give you an extra shout out from us. So we're gonna get to
it is in this New York Cal in a way.
Hey, well, shout out.
Let's let the audience.
Hey, New York Cal, if you know who this is, you write in and tell us who it is.
Man, help us out.
Yeah, we get you your letter, sir, in 3, 2, 1.
Hello, Mr. and Mrs. Casual Wrestling fan. I hope you and podcast listeners are well. First of all, I want to give a shout out to New York Kyle and to wish your mom a speedy recovery. Night of Champions are advertised on having 3 main events. In my opinion, the last match of the night is the main event, and that only. JD McDonald, I met him a few times. He is actually a very nice guy, but his character in WWE, as you will see, going in sinister, remorseless, and will fit in well in the judgmental day. He said judgmental day. When he eventually joins and pushes Balor out, which will happen, Street Profits and Bianca are turning heel soon. I'm interested to see where it goes. Thanks. Anonymous.
Yeah, anonymous. Number 2. Well, shout out to you. People don't like these main events.
They don't.
Triple H, are you listening?
Yeah, I hope he is.
They hate it.
I'm sorry, Paul.
And everybody wants Bianca and the Street Profits turn heel.
I mean, that's different. I just don't know if it's time.
It ain't time. Now, the Street Profits, yeah. I'm with that. But Bianca, no, I'm not with that. Yeah. So shout out to No Name Contributor.
Thank you.
We're moving on to the last letter.
And who could this be?
Hey, the one.
Who could this possibly be?
The only. DJ
Kuzmo.
I
knew it.
Kuzmo. So shout out to DJ Kuzmo. And guess what, buddy? You got a shout out at the top of the show. Thanks for checking in on us. We back. Tune in. Let's go. We're going to get to your letter, sir, in 3, 2, 1.
Hello, WWE and podcast world. I hope I said that for you. This is DJ Kuzmo, back at it again on your Mailbag show. But wait a minute. Is this true? That Mr. and Mrs. Casual Wrestling Fan and the Takeover crew are back for the Mailbag Takeover show? Aw, man. This is so awesome. So awesome to hear you both again. We miss y'all, and hopefully all is well with the family as well. Great to have y'all back. Of Mr. and Mrs. Casual Wrestling Fan.
That's right.
And the Takeover crew.
Come on.
Now, it won't be too long. So here, let's get to Night of Champions.
Oh, we finally get to do some picks. Guess what? We've been here the whole time. Ain't did a pick. But
We
guess
shall
what?
have it.
Finally.
Thank you,
You know what?
We can always count on you, can't we?
Guess what? We leave for a couple months and people don't even know how to write in no more. We get so many new people.
Don't say
what
that.
happened to all our old people?
Oh my gosh.
Where you at? New York Kyle.
I know.
Where you at? Where my people at?
I was actually waiting to see if he wrote in.
Man.
Where is Kyle, man?
Yeah, I heard. Where my boy the patron? Where the patron at? He ain't wrote in forever. Shout out to you.
Life gets busy though.
It does.
Just like for us.
But guess what?
We have been
we remember
through
though.
life for sure.
We remember though. What about Grim Reaper?
course.
Grim Reaper, where you at?
Yeah, we haven't seen him even before.
We still name dropping y'all.
Yeah.
We still all right, let's go.
Kuzmo's predictions and spoilers. 1. Bianca versus Asuka Part 2. Again. LOL. Anyway, I'm booking that Bianca retains her championship, but the real question is, when will she swap her title with Rhea? Because I'm still confused with a Raw Women's Champion on SmackDown and vice versa. Just saying.
I'm just saying, why do people be nice to Triple H when he make mistakes?
I'm trying to tell you.
That's messed up. And Vegas agrees with you. Do you agree with him, Bianca, for the win?
Of course.
I do too. Let's go.
2. Cody Rhodes versus Brock Lesnar.
I want to hear your answer for this one,
Part
Kuzmo.
2.
Let's go.
Okay, here we go. I'm booking that. Brock gets the win with probably the use of the Kimura lock on Cody Rhodes.
What you got, bud?
I think Cody Rhodes gonna win, man. And I know y'all are crazy and think I'm nuts.
And you know, no. Because, see, I was going to book Brock, but he didn't hurt Cody, so now they're going to feign that injury. So I think Cody will walk out of there winning.
I think Cody gonna walk out there.
Because he beat Brock the first time a fluke. So I think it's going to be another fluke victory.
I agree. 3. Gunther versus Positive Ali or Mustafa. Am I saying that correctly?
Mustafa, yeah.
Mustafa, sorry guys. Ali, as most know him as. Anyway, I'm booking that Gunther retains his IC championship.
Hey, I agree with you. Vegas agrees with you, Miss Casual Wrestling fan.
I agree.
There it is.
And I also agree that R-Truth messed up this name for me.
What?
He changed Mustafa's name.
Ah, yeah,
Mustafa.
to positive.
Yeah.
Is he? Okay.
4. Rhea Ripley versus Natalya. Another easy one here.
Come on.
I'm booking that. Rhea retains her championship.
Ms. Casual Wrestling
Agreed.
fan. Guess what, guys? The odds is minus 10,000 on Rhea. So,
wow.
She's Vegas heavy favorite, and I agree.
Of course.
Rhea Ripley.
5. Trish Stratus versus the man of the masses, Becky Lynch. I'm booking that. Becky gets the win.
Guess what?
I agree that Becky gets the win.
I'm booking it. I go to the bathroom doing that match.
Man, we all know Trish is here
that?
for a job, literally a job.
But that ain't like, no offense, guys.
It's side money for her.
I'm finna say something that's gonna make everybody mad. Trish ain't nobody for Becky to beat. That ain't really. Founding father.
And that's what really makes
you know what I mean?
Parts of like wrestling stale sometimes.
Like R.I.P. China. But if China was alive and Becky beat China,
now that was something to see.
That's some clout. You know, even no offense,
Lita
done fell off, but Lita more than Trish. I mean, I'm just saying.
Lita scared away.
I mean, come on. Anyway, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to bag on her, but yeah.
No,
Let's go, Becky.
We all share opinions, guys. I'm pretty sure some of you do and don't.
Let's go.
6. Seth freaking Rollins versus AJ Styles.
Don't tell me.
And the new WWE World Heavyweight Champion is
Seth freaking Rollins.
Yeah, boy. I'm booking him for the win-win.
All right. Who you got, Miss?
I agree. You know that. Come on.
Man, the world's singing. Come on. Hey.
7. Main event time. 1,000-day reign time. And acknowledge the greatness for the one and only Roman Reigns with Solo Sikoa versus KO and Sami Zayn.
Let's see what he's going to say.
For the undisputed WWE Tag Team Championship.
Who going to win?
This may be controversial to some and annoying to others. But I'm booking that. Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa become the new undisputed tag team champions. I said the same thing, Kuzmo. I swear. Ask Mr. Casual Wrestling fan. I said that last night. I didn't even see this email at all. Anyway, and Solo Sikoa become the new undisputed tag team champions. And here's the kicker, aka the spoiler. They win with the help of Jimmy and Jey Uso in bringing back the tag team championships to the bloodline, while at the same time having the Usos rejoin Roman and Solo and Heyman for now until. Well, that's it, folks. For now, great to have Mr. and Mrs. Casual Wrestling Fan back. Have a blessed week and weekend, y'all. This is DJ Kuzmo signing off. Peace. Plenty of emojis.
DJ Kuzmo.
Thanks, Kuzmo. It's always a pleasure to hear from you, man.
Now, Kuzmo, we got to talk about number 7. We're going to have to chop you up a little bit.
I can't because I said that.
But hold on.
I agree. He is spot on, man.
Hold on. I'm not talking about the first part. Number 8. I ain't talking about the first part. All that's cute. I'm talking about at the end, the spoiler. I want you to know something cool. No.
Yes.
It's over.
It's not.
The bloodline is crumbling.
They are family.
Family
forgives.
So let me give
they hold grudges, but they forgive. It's coming. You may not want it to happen that way. But people, Mr. Casual Wrestling Fan, you guys agree with me? It's coming.
All you people listening at home, let me tell you what's really going to happen.
Oh,
Because guess what?
What's going to happen?
Y'all messing with Triple H, and he got something for you.
I'm sure.
Do you hear me?
This
now,
is it.
I ain't lying. I felt this pick. I felt Bloodline. I feel Roman. I feel Solo. And another thing I'm thinking is because they letting Sami Zayn come to the country first time, so I'm like they wouldn't let him win. There's no way they country would let him get out of there as a W. But let's think
we both agree.
Let's think
that.
about something, guys. We real wrestling fans, right? We really watch and we really listen. And all right, so let's really analyze this real quick. You got your undisputed champion in a non-match on his right before his 1000th day celebration. He ain't lost a match. He was Solo, right?
Right.
They go out there and you think they're gonna win that match, right?
Right.
The Usos interfere to help, but they inadvertent hurt them. Mm-hmm. They distract Roman. Mm-hmm. They mess up Solo. They do something to cost them that match. So here's my bold prediction. Everybody listening.
Let's do it.
Everybody listening. This is Sami Zayn's moment. This is his win back. This is his win back moment for everything he did. This is his moment to beat Roman. And everybody listening, Roman Reigns is going to receive a haluva kick in the corner. 1, 2, 3 due to the distraction of the Usos, which is going to cost him the match. And the first time he's going to be pinned in 1,000 days. Mm. That's how I see it. I could be totally wrong. I was for the Bloodline, but
Only one way to find out.
I think this is set up. So watch out for KO and Sammy. But there we go. Shout out to Kuzmo. Thanks for writing in, buddy.
You.
For everybody listening, I do want to let y'all know we back. We thank y'all for waiting on us. I know it's been a while. For all you new people who don't know us,
sorry.
Thank you. You just met us. I want to take a little special moment to tell my baby I love her. We coming up on our last 7-year anniversary.
Oh, thank you.
I love my beautiful wife. And hopefully we got 70 years more.
Yeah.
So everybody listening, I want to thank you for checking us out. We got Good Morning WWE coming back this Monday. So check us out. It's a weekly morning show.
That's right.
For your ears. We need to talk about how we feel about the World Heavyweight Championship. We're going to talk about that on the show.
We discussed that already.
We got a lot of stuff coming up, and you gave us some good content, King Scully, on that top 5. You know, we might need to do that one day. Round table
some time
style.
and really put my thoughts together on that.
Come on, that's a good one. But I want to thank everybody for listening. Thank for all the listeners for writing in, asking about us, and checking in on us.
Thank
we
you guys.
Back. It's been a while. It's been hectic, you know. Sometimes you got to go where life goes, and
that's right.
We go. So thank you guys for listening to us. You can check us out on Monday, and until then, I don't care how the Bloodline ends. We gonna end the show.
It's always family,
the
guys.
Same way. And guess what? Hold on. Now I said I was gonna say this before we ended. I'm saying this real quick, and we done.
What?
For everybody that's mad that Roman's still champ, buy his new shirt.
Oh my
Buy
goodness.
his new show.
It's so cool.
He the GOAT. Get you one. But anyway, we're going to still end it like we always do, guys. Because guess what? You the twos, and we the ones.
Thanks for listening to the WWE Podcast. Don't forget to subscribe on your favorite podcast app so you don't miss a show. Or head to WWEpodcast.com. And for all of these shows ad-free, head over to patreon.com/WWE Podcast. Until then, we'll see you next time.